Hey, if you're wondering how to correctly conjugate the Spanish verbs ser and estar in the present tense, this is the video for you. Let's jump in, vámonos. Hey, I'm Senora Sarah, and I have been teaching on the internet for 10 years. Check out my Spanish classes for kids over on outschool.com/teachers/Senora Sarah. Let's get into the grammar stuff right now. Now that we are here in the computer, let's jump right into the Spanish grammar. This is more Spanish 1 beginner grammar. I would say for kids over the age of 10, or if they're like super advanced and younger than that. If your kids or you are younger than 10, this might be a little bit hard unless the kid is particularly advanced. So let's jump right in. First, we're going to work with estar. Estar means to be, and when I say to be, we're doing am, is, and are. Notice this is present tense, so we're not doing was and were, okay? What we're doing is we're figuring out how to correctly, as we teachers like to say, conjugate the verb to fit in the blank. I'm going to explain what that is, because I think we language teachers kind of toss around the word conjugate a lot. And all it really means is we're just going to change it so that it'll fit in the sentence. That is it. Okay, so for example, if I want to say, I am... I don't know. Let's go. I am at the beach, okay? I cannot say I to be at the beach. That's very simple, right? We understand that. Well, that's the equivalent of saying yo estar en la playa. That's like saying I to be at the beach. It's not correct. It's not correct in English. It's not correct in Spanish. So we got to change estar to fit it in that blank. And in this case, it will be estoy. Yo estoy en la playa. Please note, most native speakers won't even bother using the word yo. You don't really need it. It is completely optional. So you can say yo estoy en la playa, or you could say estoy en la playa. Both of those are perfectly fine. Okay, so now that we understand why are we even doing this, let's take a look at this worksheet. By the way, this is a worksheet that I created, and if you are interested in purchasing this worksheet, you can pop over to my TPT shop, Teachers Pay Teachers, and I sell this set of worksheets along with answer keys for you. If you're one of my students, don't do that. You get this for free, okay? All right, let's come on down. This chart here is one of the keys to remembering which form goes with what pronoun, okay? As we're starting to learn Spanish, I firmly believe that this is important if you care about learning the grammar. There are just too many words for you to pick the right one just off the top of your head. Eventually, you will remember. Here's a quick principle for you as well. Please remember that grammar is important, but when you're speaking, I don't want you panicking and locking up so much on the grammar that you don't speak because you're afraid of making a mistake. It is better to speak and make a few mistakes and get the words out and people will know what you're talking about than it is for you to lock up and not say anything. Okay, but if you are looking for the purposes of getting the correct verb in the blank, let's do this together. The first thing we're looking at on the left-hand side where it says subject, once again, those are the pronouns in Spanish. And before you even start this page, you should know what these mean. That's not what today is about. If you don't know what these mean and you're one of my students, message me over on OutSchool and I'll send you a link to practice with these on Quizlet. So you gotta go know what these mean to even understand what's going on. And then over here, you've got the correct forms of estar that go with it. Simply put, we're going to use these to fill in the blanks on this worksheet. And we're going to come down and I'm going to show you a couple of examples here. Okay, we've got a couple of good examples here. For example, my examples. We got the word él, and then we wanted to fill in the blank, en la playa. We're saying he is at the beach. In order to do this, very simply, you're going to look at your subject or your pronoun and then go up to your chart and find it. There it is, right? And then go over to the other side and see it's está. Take the word está and write it in the blank. Él está en la playa. That's the correct way to say he is at the beach. Okay? Same thing for the next one. We're going to do ellos Ellos, this means they. Again, at this point, you should know what these mean. Look at your subject. Go up here. Ellos, there it is. Están. Write the word están in the blank. Ellos están en las montañas. They're in the mountains. That's simply put how we're going to do this worksheet. Now, this is for very beginners. If you are a little bit more advanced and you feel like, oh, I really need to practice like remembering which one goes with which, take a piece of paper and cover this up and try to get the right answer in the blank, okay? Now, before we do this, before I unleash you, I just want to show you a couple that are a little more challenging. Not every single one is going to be super easy, okay? So let's come on down. For example, let's see number 7 here. Number 7, can you see we've got a person's name now? This is Linda. Which one are we going to use for a person's name? Because as you can see, let's come on back up to our chart. You don't see a person's name up here, do you? What are you going to do? We got to do some mental gymnastics here. Let's scroll on down. We got to think about the person. We got to think Linda. Okay, Linda, that's a girl's name. Okay, this is what I mean when I say you need to understand these pronouns. You got to think about which pronoun would replace the person Linda. Now, if you're struggling, let's take it in steps. We're going to first think of that in English. Linda, is it going to be he, she, we? That's pretty easy for us to figure out. Linda is she, right? Now we got to look at this and say which Spanish word means she. Ah, okay, that's ella. Now, if it helps you, come actually back down to your page to number 7 and actually cross it out and write ella. If that helps you, do that, okay? That's fine. You can do this to help yourself. Write ella, and then come back up and do the same process. Just come back up, look at it. You see ella is here, and you've got está. That's it. I know my things are messed up. Okay, so that's how you would do this if you don't have a perfect one pronoun. Be careful if you've got multiple pronouns as well. For example, number 8, tú y ella. You have to think about that. You're not only going to put está for ella, you're going to now have to think about tú y ella. Wait, that means you and she, or you and her. That means you all, or you guys. Which pronoun's going to fit there? Okay? All right, I hope this helped you figure out the verb estar in the present tense. We're going to jump over to ser, which is very similar how we're going to do that. Let's pop over there right now. Here we have the verb ser, S-E-R. This again is present tense Spanish 1 stuff. Ser and estar translate to the same thing in English, to be. So all of these words, all of these forms of ser also mean either am, is, or are. We're not getting into the different uses for these verbs today because estar and ser, while they translate to the same thing, they are not used in the same way. But today, all I'm doing is showing you how to change these to fit correctly in the blank. Once again, all of these words, these 6 words that you're looking at, they mean am, is, and are. And can you see a similar situation? We've got the pronouns, we've got the exact form of ser that goes with it. Now, I have to tell you a little teacher tip that you're probably not going to like right now. You're just going to have to memorize these. No one wants to hear that. Everyone wants a hack. Everyone wants a secret. I'm sorry. You got to memorize these. You got to do it. Whatever way that works for you, if it's flashcards, if it's games, if it's writing them, if it's doing this, you got to memorize it. I know. Once again, focus more on just speaking and eventually you will know these. But let's just run through quickly. We're not going to take as long on this one because the setup is very similar to estar. The idea is the same, but let's all come on down. Once again, you have to know what the pronouns mean. You have to. You got to know these words before you even start this, okay? Okay, so same thing. Let's let you guys think about, or let's let you think about what would go in the blank for number 1. I'll give you about 5 seconds. You can pause the video if you want. Yep, if you said soy, you are absolutely right. Now let me just show, for anybody that missed it, how we figured that out. We look at the pronoun, We go up to our chart. We look for it. It happens to be the first one. Go over here. There is soy. Take that word and put it in the blank. Yo soy tranquilo. I'm chill, I'm calm, I'm easygoing. That's what you said. Let's do one more. I'm going to do a question. We're going to go to number 4. This will be the last one, okay? Number 4 is a little bit backwards now because it's a question. So take a look. What do you think we're going to put in the blank for number 4? 5 seconds. Think about it. Okay, let me show you. This one, you have to look at the person's name. Remember how we did that with ESTAR? We're going to look at Maria. Maria is usually a girl's name, so we're going to think, okay, that's replaced with we, she, he. In English, we know that's she, right? So then we're going to go up here and say, okay, which one of these words means she? That's ella, or ella, whichever one you prefer. And then you go over and you put in, oh, okay, es. So we're going to put es in the blank. Como es Maria? That's what's Maria like, or what does Maria look like? That's it. It's the same thing as the STAR setup, at least on my worksheets. This set of worksheets is also available over in my TPT shop if you want it. If you're one of my students, you don't have to pay for it. You get it for free. All right. I hope this was helpful for you to figure out how to correctly conjugate or change the verbs ser and estar in the present tense. If you have any questions, pop me a message down in the comments and I will be more than happy to help you out. Thank you for joining me for this quick video, giving you a basic introduction to some of the grammar for ser and estar in Spanish. Remember to sign up for kids' Spanish classes over on outschool.com/teachers/Señora Sarah, and I will see you in the next one. Hasta luego!